It's a pretty good bet our IT guy will blame corporate.
Sorry, this thing doesn't always work.
Gamble and Finn. Mornings on 96 Rock.
Now, that said, however, when White Death 2 hits Thursday into Friday morning, we will keep you abreast of everything that's going on. We checked in with Randy Rico from the Power of 5 this morning. We've got our PureRock96.com. We got the school closings and delays up there for you. You can even personalize them. So we know you don't care about Amelia when you live in Delhi, and we know you don't care about Westchester when you live in Union. So there you go.
Unless, of course, you're winning tickets to a movie premiere, and then all of a sudden it becomes important.
Yes, well, it is. Just so you know, when you're calling in to win future contests, like we still have one to give away, you must live 50 miles or farther
away
from the destination, or you will not be considered.
Right. In order to win these tickets to go to the inner circle,
is unbelievable.
You got to live north of Dayton.
Or you have to live in, like, Greensburg, Indiana.
Or Dry Ridge.
Yeah, there you go.
God forbid you live in New Richmond or someplace like that.
Never fails. It's like we plan it that way.
If you live in Milford, please, I'm begging you guys, don't undo this, because we just, Sparkler Head sent us another email. Said this morning he was driving through Milford about 5 a.m. and there's Milford Storage right by the Dunkin' Donuts. I know exactly where this is.
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
"Why'd you mention donuts?"
Well,
that sounds good.
Apparently, the wind took issue with their sign, and all it said was MILF Storage.
Oh, that's great.
So
Really,
he said he should have gotten a pic. Yes, you should have. Leave it up there, guys. I'm going to come get a picture of it later today.
Probably cost you more to get them out, wouldn't it, than it would to put them in? Huh?
Oh, it's trust me, it'll cost you to get them out.
I know. Nothing beats we'll just move on from there.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Joyce actually sent us a note, too, about out-of-state tuition. She says, I have the same issue about out-of-state tuition. I got a junior and live in southeast Indiana. It'll be cheaper for me to send and house him at Purdue than to send him to UC and live at home. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I do know that NKU does give southeastern Indiana residents in-state tuition rates.
Yeah, and there is a lot in the greater Cincinnati area too, of which NKU's in. There's reciprocity tuition, where you get similar. I will ask today, because I honestly, I've never really thought about the disparity, and there is a tremendous disparity.
Well, and the other thing too,
that to out of state.
I knew quite a few people that it seemed like Miami drew a lot of Chicago suburbanites into it.
Yeah, sure.
However, interestingly, many of them had relatives who lived in Ohio.
Well, but you know what?
Where their mail was being
But Ralph,
sent.
Now, and I'm not sure of the absolute parameters, but you have to live somewhere for a year to establish that residency. And I'm telling you,
high school sophomores are moving mailing addresses to aunts and uncles that live in.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
But you have to legitimately have. I mean, you can't. There are stipulating. I'm sure, obviously, there are loopholes and there are ways around everything. I'm not naive to that. But they have, in recent years, tried to do a much more diligent job of making sure that those type of activities didn't take place. Not saying that they don't go on. They absolutely, positively do. But the reality of it is, look, my point is, and the one thing that I feel compelled to make a point on, because I am in higher education, people out there need to understand that just because you go and obtain a degree does not guarantee you anything.
Right.
I mean, no one is hiring a piece of paper. That's obviously the foundation, the basis for which, hopefully, graduates have learned in respective fields and will be hired, but they're hiring the person.
I wonder if maybe we ought to get into this maybe more tomorrow. And anybody that's in school and at a point right now where they're getting ready to go on job searches, because resumes, there was always make your resume stand out. And there's all these websites now, marketing ladders and the ladders.com. And here's how you're going to stand out. And here's how. But what, you coming from an educator standpoint, me coming from a position where I've had to hire people before, what does make somebody stand out? Does the paperwork matter at all? And if you are in that position, what are you going to do to draw someone's attention to you in a positive light? Because around here, we're hiring salespeople constantly because it's a churn side of
you
business.
Ask a very interesting question, and one that, quite frankly, Finn, for me, varies greatly by what field of study you're emerging from. Mm-hmm. In other words, if you're in the health industry, if you will, if you're going to nursing school, med school, etc., then it's based on, kind of your boards, how you test, what schools you graduate from. I think where it's, the more specialized, targeted degrees. If you go to engineering school, you do the co-op and you hopefully catch on. There are a lot more jobs available today, especially in the health industry, obviously. I think where it's more difficult are the, if you will, I got a communications degree, but I really don't know what I want to do.
See, but you look around this building.
Correct.
We are constantly on the search for good salespeople. Now, here's the problem.
All right.
Here's the problem. And every time we run these promos, and you hear, I'm even hearing Giddy Up Jolly Man over there begging to buy this and buy.
Correct.
Here's my feeling. A salesperson doesn't need to sit and watch a bunch of videotape about how to be a salesperson.
But that's a corporate culture.
Well, it is now, but I would suggest that, and here's the deal. If you're in communications and you can communicate,
good luck
guess
there.
what job is waiting for you?
Yeah.
Because here's what I would say. We don't need order takers in this industry. We need storytellers.
But I can answer
this. And if
this.
you can come in here and understand the product and pick a product and speak on it intelligently, you're going to win.
Let me tell you something. What you just described, you are absolutely correct. But there's a problem. You know what that problem is? There are very few people who can do what you just described.
Well, because I think because the people that a lot of times now from a corporate culture standpoint that are doing the hiring have beaten that out of the middle management.
I don't dispute that.
To where you understand a good storyteller is going to be better any day because they build relationships.
I'd like to get into this tomorrow, too. I'd like to hear from people who hire and people who look. I would even like to hear from people who have unfortunately been in a career, maybe are still looking for something somewhere else. Right. It is not. I'm telling you today, it is more difficult out there today than it's ever been. And to your question earlier, I would answer this. And this is the $1 million question that's very difficult for undergraduates to answer today. You know how you get jobs today? You network, and you're damn good at it. That's how you get jobs.
But you don't network on LinkedIn.com, and you don't network on FaceSpace and
Some of that can be, but you know what?
You got to network with people that you know that do the thing they're interested in, shake some hands and talk to people. I agree,
but I will tell you this. For some, LinkedIn starts a process.
No, but sadly for most, that's where it ends. Well, I got them on LinkedIn. I linked them in.
Too negative.
Sadly, it's the way.
Well, but I get asked, Finn, it's a difficult question. I can tell you this firsthand to answer because, in fact, I've got a meeting today at 1:30 with a recent graduate. She just graduated, and she wants to bend my ear and talk about, good. She thinks she knows what direction she wants to go. What are the best ways to get there? I love stuff like that. I like the challenge. We'll get into that tomorrow.
It's a good plan, and that's where you actually make a difference.
Well, hopefully I can. That's what I try to do.
We'll end on one quick positive note. Says, look, in light of the White Death, Nathan, who sends us quite a few emails at the morning show at purerock96.com on a weekly basis, certainly the White Death strikes again. I don't care how much Gamble bitches. Rico's hot, and if I have to see a bad forecast, at least she's easy on the eyes.
There you go.
I didn't. Did I ever say otherwise?
You never did. There you go.
Friday night, the Inner Circle Entertainment Complex. Formerly, you don't have to wear a tux there. It is Annie's. How about a 4-pack of tickets to check out? This will be a good show. I've seen him, Nigel Dupree Band, with special guests, Parable, Rootbound, and Hearsay this Friday night at the Inner Circle Entertainment Complex. Whatever.
Give them their due.
They'll rock it out for you. 4-pack, what caller you want today, Sally? It's all about you.
Really? For the last 30 seconds?
It's all about you. This
me?
is your 30 seconds of fame right here and now.
Then we're going to go caller 3.
Caller 3. Is there any particular reason why?
No.
I can give one. I'm headed to Skyline Chili, and I'm thinking 3-way. Caller
so 3. Is she, and
I
it
thought
had nothing
it was
to do
all
with
about
your
me.
plans.
Yeah, you're probably right, Ralph.
What is with you today?
513-749-9650. Boy, I'm nice to you compared to this.
Not really.
The Rock Line, 749-9650. Caller 3. Make it a great day. Please be careful. Remember, when driving on bridges and overpasses, and especially on and off ramps, they can become extremely icy and slick.
And watch out for the black ice. If I never hear that term again.
Careful, the ACLU will call.
Oh, black ice. I said black ice, not black guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On a long